There are many ways to leave your lover. One of them is dead. A woman facing rejection turns up the heat.
This thing is a powder keg, just waiting to explode.
A cheating wife plans a new life with her boy toy.
She has no heart. There's black in her veins, not blood.
And a young beauty snares the perfect husband, but wants more.
She's not a human being that the rest of us should have to spend time with on this planet.
These deadly women only care about themselves. Their dark souls make them loveless. Beer and bowls, two of Shelly Arndt's favorite things, along with her younger partner, Darcy Veeder.
Yeah. Sorry, boys. Better luck next time.
Darcy was a happy, mellow guy, a little bit of a jester, you know, joker.
Shelly, 44, and Darcy, 37, are making a go of things in East Bremerton, Washington.
She seemed nice and, you know, he seemed that happy. A mother is always happy to see that, you know, his kid is going to finally get on with his life.
In 2013, the couple is living with Darcy's ailing father, with whom Shelly shares a passion: drinking.
Maybe take it easy, Dad.
Don't worry about me, son. I know my limits.
Leave your dad alone.
It's a juggle for a man who loves them both.
Darcy did everything he could to make his life better. For not only him, for those around him.
Darcy's caring personality earns him a fan: Shelly's twin sister, Kelly.
Shelly's family adored the guy. The guy was gonna be really good for her.
He's so good with kids.
Kelly's hoping Darcy can help turn her sister's life around.
She's unable to maintain long-term relationships with a love, unable to hold a job, unable to control her behavior.
I wish you'd give me that kind of attention.
In many ways, the twins are opposites.
Seriously?
There was a lot of jealousy with her sister. Her sister was doing well, was married, had a family, had a career, and Shelly was struggling with her life.
Darcy works at a cleaning company, supporting the household, while Shelly looks after Darcy Sr. during the day. She's an unusual caregiver.
Oh, geez.
She was drinking quite a bit. She would go with Darcy's dad, Lord knows where, you know, drinking.
What?
We missed your doctor's appointment.
Darcy Sr. had been a raging alcoholic for years upon years.
Good. Now we don't have to rush.
This thing is a powder keg, just waiting to explode.
Darcy would be upset. They get in the house, you know, they'd both be staggering.
Well, what's your problem?
Did you get Dad to his doctor's appointment?
No, I didn't. So what?
Shelly is one of those people that couldn't handle alcohol at all. It made her angry, abusive.
You're always starting something with me.
Stop it! Stop!
And all around nasty.
Come on! Enough!
Darcy has grounds to call the police, but he doesn't.
You're pathetic!
Stop! Stop it!
Instead, Shelly phones it in.
911, what's your emergency? Police? I'd like to report an assault. My boyfriend beat me.
She made up wild stories.
Can you please come as soon as possible?
We had to go get him out of jail a couple times, bail him out, and he'd have big bruises on him.
But after each fight, they somehow patch it back together.
Here we go.
This is a good one, Mom.
I'm glad you like it, honey.
I think for her it was control.
Definitely. If she lost that control,
Darcy!
she would lose him.
Shelly tries to isolate Darcy from his own family, even his mother.
What's she doing here?
She's my mom.
To Shelly, his mother was a threat to her relationship with Darcy.
Whenever he did talk to his mother,
This is work, sorry.
Shelly would go into a rage. She hated it.
I told you, don't come here.
You can't tell me what to do.
Evil. I think she was evil.
Darcy!
She was gonna punch me. She was like, I could feel her breath.
I'm telling you.
Hey, what are you doing?
It was horrible. The words that she would call my wife. C, the B, everything you could think of.
Darcy can't take it anymore. He sits down at the table and he decides, I'm gonna write Shelly a letter. This relationship is over. No more. And he gives it to her.
That's the most dangerous time. In relationships where one party has been violent is when they actually start to leave or their partner finds out they're going to leave. That's when the partner becomes desperate.
In East Bremerton, Washington, Shelly Arndt's violent outbursts have ruined her relationship. But Darcy Veeder hopes they can still be friends.
Come on, drink up. It's the weekend.
On February 21st, 2014, he accepts an invitation to meet Shelly at her sister's home.
Kels. Yeah? Can we crash here? Sure.
A casual drink turns into a spontaneous party.
All the adults were upstairs, and some of the children were about the house.
Get out there.
Oh, yes!
Kelly quit drinking
Come in.
really soon in the evening.
Night, you two.
Hi, Mom.
The other three were beyond the ability to drive, but they continued drinking till the early hours of the morning.
Here you go.
Thank you.
So they all decide to stay the night
Sleep tight. Good night.
at Kelly's house. And this is gonna be a night that nobody forgets.
It's been a good night.
Yeah.
We could be happy.
Shelly, one night doesn't make a relationship.
Are you still leaving me?
Yeah.
Being rejected a second time is too much for Shelly.
She's in a rage. So she turns to the weapon that is the most deadly to her at this point, and that is a beanbag full of styrofoam. There were 6 other people in that house that night. So if her target was just Darcy Jr., she took a risk of killing 6 other people at the same time.
I think it was probably surprising to her how fast that particular material caught on fire.
As it continued to build, she had to do something.
The house is full of smoke. Come on.
Kelly went to bed at midnight, and the next thing she knew, her sister was coming into the room.
There's smoke coming up from downstairs. Come on.
Shelly should have been nominated for an Oscar. She made it look like she was a hero.
Kelly realized that her daughter was still downstairs in her bedroom. She and Shelly ran back, pounded on her door, got her out of there.
Shelly plays superhero and saves 5 people from burning to death. But she leaves one behind.
Shelly's a textbook case of a psychopath.
I gotta go back in.
She actually made it look like she was gonna run back in the house to get Darcy.
You can't. You'll die.
At that point, the house was fully engulfed, and the windows were starting to blow out.
Between his intoxication and the effects of the smoke, he didn't make it out.
I couldn't believe it. I was by myself in the house, and I called Bill, and I lost it. It was a bad day.
It looks like a tragic accident. Until next morning, when Shelly arrives at Darcy's work.
This could have waited.
No, I wanted to. I wanted to sort things out as soon as possible.
She had come to his place of employment. She actually claimed to be his wife.
What was Darcy's retirement policy?
It was unbelievable. I mean, who in their right mind, you know, a tragic thing like this, the first thing you think of is, oh, I gotta go turn his badge in.
And how much life insurance did he have?
Oh, I gotta check on his insurance and all that stuff. That ain't remorse.
And there's something suspicious in the room where the fire started. A beanbag chair had been moved.
What if somebody put one of those over there on the couch and lit it on fire? Could that be a competent ignition source?
Investigators reconstruct how they think the blaze started.
We lit that beanbag on fire, and it consumed the couch exactly like what we saw in the room.
And it's not long before investigators discover Shelly's past.
What Shelly forgot is that she had already served time for arson.
There's been times in her past she admitted that she became angry with Darcy, and she took an item, she lit it on fire, and she placed it on top of another item.
Psychopaths tend to not learn from their mistakes, and Shelly was no different.
In 2015, Shelly Arndt is convicted of aggravated first-degree murder, arson, and 6 counts of second-degree assault. One for each person who escaped the fire.
Shelly's completely evil, but to risk everyone's life, her entire family's life, was ruthless.
She is sentenced to life in prison, no parole.
He was my little Darcy. He was a good kid, very loving. He was the best.
Shelly Arndt destroyed a generous soul who only wanted to keep his family happy. Darcy provided her with a good life for little in return. But when he finally had enough, Shelly couldn't accept it.
This was a murder motivated by greed and sloth. Shelly didn't want to work, and she needed the money that Darcy earned. A person who could do this knows the difference between right and wrong and chooses to do wrong.
What about me?
And their soul is black.
2002, in the small village of Rich Hill in Northern Ireland, newcomer 30-year-old Jackie Crymble makes a big impression.
Ooh. She was very bold, she was very loud, she thrived on being the center of attention.
Let's dance.
Inappropriate, daring, but that's the kind of person she was.
Let's go back to your place.
Jackie develops quite the reputation.
She's shameless. She didn't seem to care what people were really thinking about her.
One person who does care is Jackie's husband, Paul.
Oh, here we go. Drum roll.
Waiting at home with their 2 children.
All right, here we go. 5.
She's gone out every other weekend by herself. He's at home babysitting the kids and stuff.
Where's Mommy?
She'll be home soon.
They say opposites attract, and perhaps that's what was going on between Jackie and Paul.
An engineer in the aerospace industry, Paul works extra shifts to pay for Jackie's extravagant lifestyle.
I love your shoes.
Thanks. They're new. Designer.
She lived well above her means, whether it was a new car or a new handbag or a new pair of shoes.
And I'm getting the matching handbag next week.
I'll do everything bigger and better.
Look at you.
Why do you put up with her? I just want a peaceful home.
Paul did everything he could to keep Jackie happy, but there was no keeping Jackie happy. There was never enough for Jackie.
Unlike her husband, Jackie's always looking for something better. And in July 2003, she bumps into 27-year-old Roger Ferguson.
Thanks.
No problem. Are you okay?
Jackie set her sights on Roger, and he had virtually no experience with women.
No. I've got to go home. But my husband beats me.
You can't go home then.
Roger believed everything she said.
I've got nowhere else to go.
Look, come with me. We'll work something out.
Roger was very quickly besotted by her, and I think that she realized she'd found somebody that she could manipulate.
Unaware of his wife's nocturnal activities.
Just say you want me to stay, and I'll cancel the ride.
I don't care if you stay.
Paul lives in hope of salvaging the marriage.
Maybe we could take a trip soon.
And he did everything he could to make the marriage work.
You'll be late. Go and say goodbye to your kids.
She clearly wasn't interested in resolution.
Kids, come say goodbye to your dad. Have a good weekend, yeah?
Okay, you too.
And behave yourselves.
She was more intent on just fooling around or playing around or whatever.
Kids, come in here. Take this and clear out. Go.
The moment Paul is out of sight, his place in their bed is taken by Jackie's new lover, Roger.
He was really in love with Jacqueline. He really saw that there was going to be a future together for both of them.
I've got some exciting news to tell you.
What?
Roger's devotion only deepens when Jackie delivers a double-barreled surprise.
I'm pregnant. With twins.
Roger was a nice guy who came from a good family.
And they're yours.
Are you serious?
Life was pretty good for him, right up to the moment he met Jackie.
Jackie and Roger's affair is the worst-kept secret in the village.
She didn't try to hide the affair. She was always seen out with Roger.
Everyone in town knew she was involved with Roger.
Everyone except Paul.
He just couldn't see what was right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean...
Finally, a friend decides to tell him the truth.
No, I didn't know.
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. I really am.
It's okay. Thanks for letting me know.
What's the matter with you?
Are you sleeping with Roger?
Sure am. I want out of this sham marriage.
When Jackie was confronted, she didn't lie. She said, yeah, and our marriage is over.
Don't say that. What about our kids?
But Paul doesn't want a divorce.
He didn't want to walk out and leave his 2 children with Jacqueline.
What about me?
Where are you off to now, huh? You off to see him?
Yeah, I am.
And when he told her he would never divorce her, he signed his own death warrant.
32-year-old Irish party girl Jackie Crymble
You're pathetic.
has big plans for the future, but they don't include her long-suffering husband, Paul.
A few times Jacqueline had said to Paul in front of people, "You're worth more to me dead than alive."
Paul's life insurance is worth some $450,000. To get her hands on it, Jackie's planted a cruel lie in the mind of her young lover, Roger Ferguson.
Paul had attacked her and had kicked her, and she had lost the twins.
When did it happen?
3 nights ago.
She did everything she could to make Roger think that she was a victim.
Why didn't you call me?
I was afraid he'd hurt you too.
Jackie plumbed the depths of hell to come up with the story. She pulled out every dirty trick in the book. She was sterile. She couldn't even get pregnant.
I want to kill him.
You'd do that for me.
Roger thought that Paul was a complete monster.
June 20th, 2004,
Happy Father's Day for tomorrow.
the night before Father's Day.
Cheers to that.
Paul's luck changes. Jackie invites him to a romantic dinner.
Jackie did a 180 regarding her behavior, her attitude, everything toward Paul.
I'll get us some more drinks.
Okay, great.
She told Paul that she was going to give him a night to remember.
There you go. Ooh.
What's all this?
I'll drive tonight. I want you to have fun.
I like it.
Paul's hopes improve with every drink.
My favorite.
I know.
Paul got quite a surprise when he got home, but it wasn't a Father's Day present.
And both Jacqueline and Roger just kept kicking him as he was lying on the ground. Kicking him, and kicking him.
Paul couldn't believe what was happening to him. He knew that his wife had betrayed him, realized he'd been caught in a trap, And when the bag was placed over his head, he began to panic.
Not only did she put the plastic bag around his head, she sat there and watched him.
It would have taken a number of minutes. It was a terrible way to die.
Jackie's planned the murder down to the last minute. Now for the cover-up.
They put Paul's body in the boot of his car. The car was driven to a remote location and was just left there. And then Jacqueline staged what looked like a burglary in the house. You know, knocked a number of things over, knocked the phone off a table. She was tied up with cable ties then as well.
The stage is set for the performance of her life.
She creates a story about contacting 999 on her phone. That's kind of hard to believe.
Help me, police! 2 men came in. There's been a robbery. 2 men came in. They were shouting about money and...
Only Jackie's hands were tied behind her back, but she could still walk.
Jackie Crymble!
Why didn't she just walk out the front door and go to a neighbor's?
They had masks on. They took my husband. I don't know where they've gone. No.
Jacqueline, at the start of it, sounded absolutely hysterical. Then there's a point where she thought that she had hung the phone up, and she immediately stopped crying. And she heard them saying, "Hello, are you still there?"
Mom? Mom, are you there? Oh, please, come and help me! Help me! Oh, no.
When she realized the operator was still there, she gasped and then went hysterical again.
Oh, help me! Please, help me! Help me!
And that's where the whole case fell down.
Jackie may have been good at something, but it wasn't acting.
The police easily connect the dots. The unlikely crime scene, a life insurance policy, and a young lover waiting in the wings.
Stupid people, they don't see how stupid they are, and their weakness is thinking that they're smarter than others. And that's her through and through, you know.
In 2007, Roger Ferguson is convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison with an 18-year non-parole period.
Roger was an otherwise good person who had been turned into a killer by being besotted by a woman. He has just completely fallen under her spell.
Jackie Crymble is found guilty of murder and jailed for life with a 20-year non-parole period.
I've never come across anyone like Jacqueline Crymble. She is so manipulative, so cruel, so callous.
She has no heart. There's black in her veins, not blood. She felt no shame, no remorse, no guilt. Thank God she was also stupid, so she got caught very quickly. The Eternal Bliss machine stopped working rather early. She pretended to cry, she pretended to sob.
They're killing him!
It was a very unusual finish to a terrible crime.
Oh, no!
On the University of New Mexico campus in 1979, Andy Segott shows the ropes to his younger sister, Sue.
It looks like your next lecture is just in here.
Thanks, I'd been lost 5 times by now.
What are Big Brothers for?
He was basically the oldest in the family, so he was, you know, the leader, the teacher, always caring for us.
Andy is a good catch for someone. 21-year-old marketing student Lisa Baca thinks she's that someone.
Oh.
Are you okay?
I am. Look at me.
I'm so sorry.
Lisa was very single-minded. She would laser lock on something and she would go for it without a doubt, and like a heat-seeking missile.
I'm gonna marry you, Andy Segott.
Lisa is just where she wants to be.
He must have felt like, I won the relationship lottery. She's really, really hot, and she picked me.
Leave it.
It could be important.
More important than me.
Lisa has their whole life mapped out, and it doesn't include Andy's family.
It's probably Mom. She's hoping we'll come visit this weekend.
I've got an assignment due.
I want to meet you, honey.
They were inseparable to the exclusion of everyone else.
I just want to be with you. Alone.
But Lisa wanted to be the only one in Andy's life.
Within months, they are married and start building their life together.
He was very much in love with her, I thought, which was okay for me. You know, I would accept her too, if that's what he wanted.
But it means Andy has to make some choices.
Hello? Oh, hey, sis. Yeah, sure. See you soon.
I was actually over to his apartment twice and only let in once.
She's just getting the vacuum cleaner.
She's not coming in.
Sue felt that Lisa was deliberately trying to come between the sibling bond that they had.
Hey, sis. I'll, carry it to the car.
She started noticing her brother Andy pulling away from her. She thought it was odd.
Andy isn't just being quarantined from family. He's struggling to keep Lisa happy day to day.
Ugh, I'm starving. No!
What?
Are you a complete idiot?
Lisa had gone absolutely nuclear when he'd emptied the dishwasher wrongly.
I hate you!
So she took all the dishes out of the cupboard and threw them at him.
"9 months after their wedding, the honeymoon is well and truly over.
How bad is it?
Said, how you do? And he goes, wow, not great.
You've got to divorce her before it gets worse.
I can't get a divorce.
He was in love with his wife, and he thought that they could work things out, and he didn't want a divorce.
Andy does agree to a trial separation. But that's not what Lisa wants. She wants someone new.
She started revising her future, and it didn't include Andy.
1981, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Lisa Segott is taking a break from her 9-month-old marriage by hooking up with a new man, David Meade.
David was a snappy dresser, great-looking guy, great body, no prospects in terms of money.
I love being with you. But we need money.
Now it's Lisa's turn to make choices. She wants the good things in life, but her new man isn't likely to deliver. On the other hand, her husband now has graduated from college and scored a well-paying job.
He had the nice car, he had an apartment, he had a good job. It was security.
Hey, I've got an idea.
She starts to formulate a plan that how to have your cake and eat it too. Lisa decides after a couple of months to go back with Andy. Oh, I love it. And she knew she could get him back.
You spoil me.
Because he's really trying hard to make the marriage work. He's trying everything he can do to accommodate Lisa.
I'm just so glad you're back.
But there's something she's not telling.
Although Lisa went back with Andy at her insistence, she never gave up David.
As always, Lisa has her man right where she wants him. On the night of March 30th, 1981, it all comes together.
She told Andy she had a paper due in one of her psychology classes.
And would he take her to his office so that she could use the typewriter at his office to type the paper?
Sorry, this must be really boring for you.
Hey, if it means spending more time with you, babe, I'm in.
Well, it means a lot. I really need those credits.
What she ended up typing, she simply was copying from a psychology book.
Right. Done.
Andy's first mistake is to trust his wife.
Lisa, I'm so glad you're back.
So am I.
His second, having life insurance.
Hey, stop! Run! Run!
Andy tells Lisa to run. His first thought is for her safety.
They're attacking my husband! They're killing him!
Well, she ended up at a nearby convenience store.
Just tells him that her husband is being attacked by two guys.
911, what's your emergency?
Give me the police, please.
He was straddling Andy and violently stabbing time after time after time.
After 44 blows with a Bowie knife, the assailant screws up.
He missed on one occasion and he stabbed himself. It was a big knife, and the stab wound to the leg happened to sever the artery.
Now, there are two victims.
He's bleeding out. He's gonna die there if he doesn't get assistance.
She runs up to Andy. Oh, Andy, Andy.
Oh, no! Andy!
But soon, Lisa has more to worry about.
Lisa!
When she saw David, she clearly did not expect that.
Andy!
Lisa might as well written and signed her own confession for the way she acted at the death scene.
The whole thing was just a complete fail.
Lisa's lover is exposed as the killer before the police even arrive.
The damage was so severe that they couldn't save the leg, so they amputated the leg above the knee.
So now, the million-dollar question. Was the killer eliminating his competition, or was he put up to it?
I do know David. We had an affair.
She starts to throw David under the bus.
I dumped him. I went back to my husband.
She made up the story that David was a jilted lover, and when she told him that she no longer wanted to be with him, so he decided to kill her husband.
He's been stalking me.
It's a convincing argument until good police work traces the origin of the murder weapon.
The salesperson who sold them the knife remembered the two of them, and Lisa actually paid for the knife. David didn't.
In 1982, David Meade is found guilty of second-degree murder. He is sentenced to 12 years.
I don't think he would have even thought of this if it wasn't that he was wanting her in that way. He must have been mesmerized by her and what he believed he was going to have with her.
Lisa Segott is also convicted of second-degree murder and solicitation to commit murder. She receives 16 years.
She's still, who knows what we could have had with him. Probably a wonderful grandfather and brother that would always be there for us. If she wasn't in the picture, he'd be so present and so happy. She took him away from us.
With good behavior, Lisa serves only half her sentence. But with freedom comes more punishment.
Justice can be served in many ways. Lisa died 2 years after leaving prison of causes unknown.
I think it's just a good thing that she's dead. She's not a human being that the rest of us should have to spend time with on this planet.
These deadly women lost that loving feeling. Shelly Arndt killed the only man who cared. Jackie Crymble repaid a husband's devotion with lethal betrayal. And Lisa Segott got the man of her dreams, but wanted more. All three killed without conscience. They were loveless.